Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Erin Woods, and I am one of the criminal and traffic defense attorneys here at Student Legal Services. On this slide, you'll see the other full-time licensed practicing attorneys who work at SLS. As you can see, we also have plenty of ways to get a hold of us: phone call, texting, email. You can visit our website, or you could stop by our office in person. Additionally, I highly encourage you to check out our social media. We post important information about our services as well as valuable tips for students. So what exactly is Student Legal Services? We are a nonprofit law office that Ohio State has specifically chosen to contract with to provide legal advice, representation, education, and resources to eligible Ohio State students. Our services are confidential. We cannot share your information with the university or anyone else without your permission. So why do students need lawyers? Well, students need lawyers for a wide variety of legal issues, including all the ones listed here. If you're ever unsure about whether we could cover your issue or whether or not we can help you, please do not hesitate to call and text us or come into the office, email us. We'll be able to point you in the right direction. We'll be able to tell you if we cover the issue that you would like to speak about. For example, if you are given a speeding ticket by a police officer, that's something that we would be able to help you with. Driver's licenses. So you must have a valid, unexpired U.S. license to drive in the state of Ohio. If you have an out-of-state license, so a license from another U.S. state, you should renew that license or transfer it to Ohio before it expires. Now, the reason you want to do that is because if you let your out-of-state license expire, you're not going to be able to transfer it to Ohio if you are under the age of 21. They will make you complete a certain amount of driver training. They'll make you complete 50 hours of supervised driving with someone who has a license and who's 21 years or older. So that's a lot of time. It's a lot of money. Don't let your out-of-state license expire. Make sure you get it transferred to Ohio once you have established residency, which we'll talk about next. So when do you need to change or transfer your out-of-state license to Ohio? Well, that matters and depends on residency. So in Ohio, you are considered an Ohio resident for BMV and licensing purposes. Once you take a job, sign a lease, sign children up for school, regardless of whether OSU treats you as a resident for university and tuition purposes. Ohio basically says within 30 days of establishing residency, which could be for most of you probably signing a lease, and that includes signing a lease to live on campus or off campus. Within 30 days of that, you're obligated to transfer your driver's license to Ohio along with your title and registration. So now you have your license, and now it's time to get car insurance. So you must have car insurance to drive in Ohio. There are no exceptions to this. If you are driving your car, your friend's car, a rental car, any car, you must be listed as an insured driver on a car insurance policy. If you are stopped by a police officer and do not have car insurance with you, your license could be suspended and you will not be able to drive. While Ohio law only requires at minimum liability insurance, we recommend that you obtain more than just the minimum coverage. Liability insurance only covers property damage and medical expenses for others if you are found at fault for an accident. It does not cover your own vehicle. It does not cover your own medical bills. Therefore, you should purchase a comprehensive policy in addition to the liability policy so that you and your property are protected. The next thing that you'll need is valid registration for your vehicle. So any car that you drive must be registered with the state of Ohio, and that registration must be current. Some people call this renewing their plates, renewing their tags, renewing their sticker. Once your car is registered, the BMV will give you a sticker that you will place on the rear license plate of your vehicle. That is properly displayed, open and visible. That proves and shows to police officers and others on the road that you do have a car that is valid and registered. If you have out-of-state registration and you're not considered an Ohio resident, so you don't have an obligation to update it here in Ohio, you still have to make sure that it isn't expired. So you want to make sure that out-of-state registration remains current and does not expire while you are here in Ohio. It's very important to be aware of and obey all traffic laws. It is not a defense to a traffic ticket that you were unaware of the law. You have a duty to know the traffic laws and always abide by them. For example, if you were stopped by police for driving over the posted speed limit and you were given a ticket, it is not a defense that you did not know the speed limit. It is not a defense that you were driving the same speed limit as everyone else. Alternatively, it's not a defense that no one else was on the road at the time. Traffic laws, the vast majority of them are strict liability, which means regardless of the reason, if you're breaking the law, you can be liable for that ticket. So what should you do if you're in a car accident? We recommend that you report it to the police, even if the accident is minor. Creating a police report creates official record of the crash, which you might need for insurance purposes and for your claim. Additionally, you should consider going to the doctor as soon as possible, even if you don't feel injured at the time. Some injuries don't show symptoms until later, so be safe, not sorry. And in addition, if you have injuries or claims that you want to make, it's important to have medical documentation along with it. Additionally, you should be taking documentation of the scene of the accident, taking pictures of your car, the other person's car, any injuries that you may have, if there are visible injuries to yourself or your passengers. You should also take picture of the road conditions. Note where traffic signals are, traffic signs, take pictures of that as well. All of those are important for establishing a claim. Additionally, you'll want to notify your insurance. You do not have to speak with the other party's insurance right away. You don't have to speak with them first. We recommend that you speak with your insurance first and you speak with an attorney. It's also important to know what you need to do if you are involved in a traffic accident. So if you are in an accident, you must give your contact information and car insurance information to the other driver before leaving the area. Even if you hit a parked car, which does not have someone in the vehicle at the time, you still must provide that information by attaching it to the parked vehicle before you leave. If you do not give your information and you leave the scene of the accident, you could be given a ticket for what's called hit skip. This is a serious violation that carries mandatory penalties, including mandatory license suspension. So we recommend that you keep a paper and a pen in your car for this reason. So if you do not have paper and pen at the time of the accident, call a friend to bring it to you. Always make sure you are able to leave your contact information and your insurance information to the other driver involved in an accident. What to do if you are pulled over by the police? So first, you should signal to merge over to the right. You should calmly but immediately pull over, put your car in park, and place your hands on the steering wheel and wait for the officer to come up to you. They will likely ask you for proof of car registration, proof of car insurance, and your driver's license, which you will have to provide if they ask. You must have a driver's license when you drive. So when can an officer search your vehicle? Your car can be searched without a warrant if the cops have reason to believe that criminal activity is taking place or you have evidence of a crime in your car, or if you give them consent to search your vehicle. We recommend that you and your passengers should clearly state that you do not consent to any searches of you, your property, or your vehicle. If you are given a ticket, you do have to sign that ticket. That's just acknowledging receipt of a copy of the citation. It's not admitting guilt. It's not admitting to the violation. If you have issues with the citation, if there are issues, then we will address that in court later at a later date. Be cooperative with the police. If anything happens that is wrong, we can always address that later. If you are stopped by the police and they suspect you of drunk driving, they will ask you to exit the vehicle and perform standardized field sobriety tests, which are physical tests that they do on the side of the road. And they will also ask you to complete a chemical test. That would include a urine test or a blood test or a breath test. You have the right to refuse the field sobriety tests. You have the right to refuse a chemical test. If you refuse a chemical test, then your license will be suspended immediately, which we can address later in court. If you take a test and you test over the legal limit, again, your license will be suspended. And then additionally, if you have any previous drunk driving convictions, if you refuse to take a chemical test when subsequently stopped on a later date, then you could face additional penalties. So what happens if you do get a ticket? You should contact us right away. We have, again, multiple ways that you can reach us. We would be happy to help you. Call us, text us, email. You can also schedule appointments through our website, online. We offer in-person appointments, phone appointments, virtual appointments. So we make it really easy. Please come see us if you do get a ticket. It's also important to talk to Student Legal Services before you pay the ticket. Traffic charges can carry significant penalties, including financial sanctions, jail time, points, and license suspensions. We want to make sure that your rights are protected and that you get the best outcome possible. So please make an appointment with our office so that we can help you. So if you get a ticket in Franklin County, Ohio, we can represent you in these courts listed here. Unfortunately, we do not represent students on matters that occur outside of Franklin County. However, if you do get a ticket outside of this county, please still call us. We can give you advice, potentially provide you with a referral to someone who might be able to help you. Remember, Student Legal Services is here to help you. We help thousands of students each year, confidentially and with no judgment. We offer appointments by phone, virtual appointments, in-person appointments. Please come see us if you need anything. Thank you for your time and attention. Enjoy the rest of your day and go Bucks.